Okay, hello everyone. Let's get started. My name is Tapio Pesala. I'm the Investor Relations Manager here at F-Secure. I would like to warmly welcome you to our webcast today. With me today I have our CEO Samu Konttinen, who will next run through the financials from the previous quarter. And after Samu's presentation there will be time reserved for questions, at which time we'll allow you to unmute yourselves. Before I give the floor to Samu, I'd like to take this opportunity to advertise our upcoming Capital Markets Day, which will be held on Wednesday the 28th of November. The event will be held in Helsinki, but there will of course be a live webcast available for those unable to join us at the physical event. Information on the CMD as well as registration is available on our website at fsecure.com/cmd. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us today, and now I give the floor to Samu.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Tapio, for opening the call. So let's go into our Q3 interim report. So this Q3 interim report marks a very interesting and important interim report for F-Secure, as this is the first time that we have numbers embedded to F-Secure financials from the acquisition of MWR InfoSecurity, a very significant acquisition that we finalized in the beginning of Q3. So looking at the agenda for today, so we'll first go through the key takeaways from the previous quarter, looking at the key figures, business updates, and then looking at the outlook going forward. So definitely the key takeaways from Q3 is that our growth accelerated by the inclusion of MWR InfoSecurity, and the integration has started very well. I'm very happy with the progress at multiple fronts. We are really looking at deep integration, everything for what comes to back office functions, whereas the front office we are not integrating so tightly to F-Secure existing F-Secure machinery in the beginning. The key rationale there being that we acquired a company that was performing extremely well, was growing fast, and we expect them to continue doing so. So we didn't want to be shaking the operation much, but really allowing them to continue doing what they had been doing so well in the past. Then looking at the organic parts of F-Secure, so our revenue growth improved from Q2 on B2B, but still below our expectations. Our B2B revenue organic growth was 10%. So just to paint the picture there, whereas in previous quarter in Q2 the growth was 8%. So an improvement there, and not yet at the levels where we expect, but definitely the right direction. On the positive side, we are very happy with the number of managed detection and response deals that we managed to ink during the quarter. We actually signed more MDR deals than ever before. So from that perspective, it was definitely a record month for F-Secure. On cybersecurity services, well, so that business continues growing well, and the market demand is definitely there. On the EPP, on the endpoint protection market, so we see the market continuously or being still in the transition. So all and customers are increasingly hesitant on changing their endpoint protection vendor to another one unless the other one includes EDR functionality in the product, which is something that we have only now started to ship. So us not having the EDR ability with our endpoint offering has caused a sales slowness for F-Secure during the last few quarters. And then on the consumer security side, so our revenue decreased slightly. And the main logic behind the decrease is the previously communicated customer loss in one region that we've communicated about a year ago. So this Q3 2018 will now actually be the last quarter when we are when the comparison number is challenging for F-Secure. And the outlook going forward without the loss of that one significant partner is very stable, and actually already now the operator channel, this one account loss excluded is growing. And then finally looking at our profitability, so that has been tracking very well to our plans, and we managed to improve the profitability from the previous quarter, and that's definitely on the positive sides. And a couple of weeks back we issued a revision to our outlook for 2018, so that's something to keep in mind as well. Now looking at the numbers, so the revenue growth for the whole group was 23%, and really driven with the B2B revenue growth that was a very strong 58%. Obviously a big component there is the acquisition, and as I said previously, so organically the F-Secure the acquisition excluded revenue growth would have been 10%, so double digits there. But this is a fast acceleration there. And in consumer security, the revenue was -2% as stated, so impacted by the loss of that one significant customer. On the profitability side, so the adjusted EBITDA that excludes all the one-offs and the cost related to the acquisition, as an example. So on that front, we delivered 6 million euros adjusted EBITDA, a small increase from the year behind. So as the adjusted EBITDA idea is to offer a profitability view that would have as much comparability as possible. So therefore we are quite pleased that although the top line was somewhat below our own expectations, we managed to increase our profitability. And then perhaps two other things to mention on the key numbers is that deferred revenue, which talks about the strength in our sales. So deferred revenue grew 14%, which is again reflecting the multi-year deals that we are doing on the corporate side. And then if you look at the personnel, so at the end of the period we were more than 1,600 at F-Secure, whereas a year ago about 1,000. So very significant increase there, and about 400 coming from MWR. So you see that even the acquisition excluded, we've added our team of F-Secure fellows by more than 200 people. So this is a significant increase, and just talks about the commitment we have for growth and not optimizing for short-term profitability. And here you see the graphics, pretty much the same what already elaborated. So a very strong 58% growth on B2B. Now you also see that now after we completed this very strategic acquisition for F-Secure, so now our B2B business is also size-wise bigger than the consumer business, and I think this underscores the transformation quite well. So transforming F-Secure from a endpoint security player to a cybersecurity company capable of offering much broader portfolio to our customers, and really the spearhead of the growth is on the B2B side, and really looking at the detection and response markets. We have next adjusted EBITDA that improved 12%. And delivered 12% of the revenues, and there you say that there was a clear improvement from the previous quarter, and again here you see that the historical numbers, again reflecting the investments that we placed to accelerate growth during the last couple of years already. So we are in a transformation, and we are very much still in the investments placing phase rather than starting to optimize for profitability. And now looking at our offering that I think is very competitive, and it's very effective to counter all sorts of cyber threats that customers face. So we are able to address the traditional endpoint protection on the prevention side with our award-winning offering there, and that is now complemented with a very comprehensive set of products and services, the solution front in the detection and response front. So not only the rapid detection response, but also the Countercept from MWR, that is one of the leading threat hunting platforms worldwide, used by many of the most demanding customers in those verticals that are most sensitive to persistent cyber attacks. And we've added very important capabilities also to conduct remote forensics and remote incident response, really utilizing the Countercept technology there, that we can help our customers to tackle cyber attacks when they are under fire, and really doing that in a very scalable fashion remotely, leveraging Countercept technology. So that is a really strong combination of solutions that we have in place in the managed detection and response front. So I'm very pleased with the offering there. And as I said earlier, so looking at our managed detection and response solution catalog, so we landed a record number of deals during the quarter, and these are coming from various industry verticals, as an example, from finance, from energy, from critical infrastructure, and so forth. So a very strong portfolio and very positive outlook going forward with the detection and response portfolio. And then next, let's talk briefly about the scale and the ability that we have across our cybersecurity services. So now, as we've completed the acquisition, so we have our cybersecurity services presence at 4 different continents. So the traditional strength that we have in the Europe and the Nordics is now complemented with teams in place both in Singapore, in Johannesburg for Africa, and then also for New York for North America. And there are not many companies who can offer this same geo presence and being able to serve the very demanding customers who insist that you have ability to serve them locally across several different locations. Some examples would be, as an example, that if you take the 5 biggest financial institutes in UK, so out of those top 5, 3 are F-Secure customers. And then if you look at the top 5 financial institutes in US, 3 out of those 5 are F-Secure customers. And why this is such a good example of the strength and the geographical coverage we have is that we are not only serving those customers at their home bases, but they require their vendor being able to service them across different locations where they have their critical operations. So many of the European or US-based major banks, we are not only serving them at their headquarters, but we are serving them also in Asia and different locations. And there are not many companies who has that geo-presence ability in place. So I'm very happy with the strength we have across F-Secure cybersecurity advisory and cybersecurity consulting teams, and really offering the best of breed incident response, best of breed forensics, security assessments, and also conducting targeted attack simulations to those customers who want to test their cyber resilience. And a little bit now summarizing our B2B business. So as said, so we're very happy with the growth, 58% in Q3, and the growth really driven by with the MWR acquisition, but also organically in the detection and response from the endpoint security. One of the big positives is the renewals. So although we have had challenges with our endpoint new sales, predominantly due to the lack of EDR solution that we now have in place, but didn't have that in Q3. So we are still very happy with the renewals, so that F-Secure existing customers are renewing their subscriptions at the very high level. So that is very important. It kind of serves as a backbone for our B2B business, and the existing customers, and that also underscores the profitability of this business, and it allows you to run an upsell and cross-sell with your wider portfolio to these existing customers. So I'm very, very pleased how we managed to attain the customers that we have acquired over the years. And as I already said, so on the managed detection front with RDS and Countercept, so we really landed a record number of deals in several countries. So we really see this business is picking up at many geographies around the world. And on the solution news front, so our EDR solution is now shipping, and it has been somewhat late compared to some of our rivalries. So you could say that we are a bit of a latecomer, but it's so important that the solution is now ready for sales, and I'm very convinced that although we were not the first one to enter that market, but we've managed to build a solution that is highly competitive and really custom built to meet the criteria of the mid-market focus that we have with our go-to-market. And then on cybersecurity services, so that business now really commands a strong presence across multiple locations. So in US, Singapore, South Africa, all the countries in Nordics and so forth. So very happy with the presence there. In UK, sales-wise, we had a more challenging quarter, and the sales challenges we have in sales in UK, we are expecting that to result to a slightly weaker profitability going into a Q4, which was one of the reasons why we reiterated our guidance a couple of weeks ago. But we strongly believe that to be a temporary hiccup and something that we can overcome rather quickly and return to a strong growth that we've estimated that business to carry. Then moving on to consumer, so a couple of key points to mention around our consumer security. So first, that I'm really happy of really would be that we've now signed our first F-Secure Sense deal with the largest telecom operator in Finland, a company called Elisa. And really what Elisa is after there is that they wanted to take a strong stance on starting to offer a digital whole home protection to all their consumer customers, so that whatever is your digital connected device, be it smart TV, be it gaming console, be it Wi-Fi, coffee maker and whatnot, as this IoT is really expanding and coming into our homes. So Elisa wanted to have a solution in place where they can go to their customers and just offer a very comprehensive protection across all the connected devices. And they will be placing F-Secure Sense software to their routers. So making the router kind of a smart router from a security perspective. So this is a very important step for F-Secure, and given that we have traditionally had the consumer business built around the operator channel, so us having more than 200 operator partners, so there is a very big opportunity on finding scale for Sense software to be embedded to the operator routers, and we have a lot of those operator negotiations ongoing, but this really was the first deal that we now announced in this front, and I'm very happy with that. Then looking at our second go-to-market play in consumer business, which would be direct to consumers. So there, I guess the key event is the launch of F-Secure Total, and the F-Secure Total is a kind of a commercial platform that previously included F-Secure Safe, the award-winning internet security product, and F-Secure Freedom, our privacy and freedom product, privacy and VPN product. But now what we've done is that we've taken the F-Secure Total to a whole new level. So it is kind of a commercial platform, and the tenants of that platform now is F-Secure Safe, F-Secure Freedom, and we added F-Secure Key, which is our password management product, and then we also added the subscription for F-Secure Sense. So then those customers who want to take a full leverage of F-Secure Total and really want to have that full coverage for their home protection, they can have that through F-Secure Sense being part of F-Secure Total. And the missing piece, obviously, there is the router that does the trick. So then the Sense software you would need to then buy a router separately from F-Secure, but the actual subscription is included in the F-Secure Total. And now, if I'm looking at the competition in consumer security market, so this is really one of the most advanced and most comprehensive solutions out there. So I'm very happy that we managed to parse this together, and it's now selling, and it's very competitive, and we have a very strong outlook for that to continue commanding sales for our direct consumer business. And now summarizing the consumer security, so revenue down by 2%, again impacted by that one major partner loss a year ago, and now Q3 will be the last quarter where we have that impact. And actually, if we exclude that significant partner loss from the numbers and just look at the operator channel that excluded, we are seeing that it is growing slightly. So, which is very important, and I think it still talks about the resilience and about the healthiness of this very strategic channel for F-Secure. Also, a great news on that front is that we signed a deal with Sonet, which is the third largest operator in Japan. So that's a great new beginning, and will strengthen F-Secure position in the consumer market with Sonet as a major carrier partner to start providing F-Secure consumer products to their consumer customers. And then on the direct sales, so again the F-Secure Total was the key event there, and on the business side, so we continued seeing that business from sales and order intake wise as growing. The renewals are on a very good level, so the customer satisfaction for F-Secure Safe and Freedom are stellar. And now we have a lot of expectations going forward how F-Secure Total is further offering a great protection to our customers, a protection that is very broad and includes now also the password management and also the digital whole home solution. So it's a great solution. And now finalizing going to the outlook that we updated 2 weeks ago. So our outlook now is that our revenue from our corporate security is expected to grow around 30% compared to year before. Revenue from consumer security is expected to decrease from 0 to 4% compared to a year ago. And the adjusted EBITDA guidance we kept unchanged, so that has all along been between 14 to 18 million, and so that's the highlight of the guidance. And then we have M&A related cost that we expect to be in the range of 3.5 to 4 million. And the longer term, the strategy period outlook that we have, so that we have kept unchanged. So we continue thinking our ability to grow in cybersecurity market, spearheaded with the detection and response solutions and cybersecurity services. We expect that we will be pushing growth that is faster than the market growth, which means that you are winning market share. And we've guided long term that we believe in our ability to grow on that market 15% or more annually during the strategy period. And then the long-term financial targets from our profitability side. So driven by the revenue growth and scalable business model, we expect our profitability to improve significantly in the long term. And what the management and the board is continuously doing is seeking the right balance between growth investments and how do you surface the profitability so that you really optimize long-term value creation for shareholders. So that is the thinking there. And perhaps as really the end of the call, so key focus areas for remains of this year and for next year is really that we continue accelerating our corporate security growth via successful integration of MWR InfoSecurity. We are really driving to become a leader in detection and response solutions, both managed detection and also pure play software. So offering our customers both alternatives. So offering detection and response service for those who want to outsource this very complicated and cumbersome task to an expert, but also being able to offer detection and response technology for those customers who want to manage it in-house, or also to those customers or those partners who want to manage it for their customers. So really looking at the channel leverage there as well. And in cybersecurity services, so we continue thinking that being a market that offers tremendous growth opportunities, so we continue pursuing that at all our sites in the Nordics, in Europe, driven by UK, in North America, in Asia, and in South Africa. And then now as the F-Secure portfolio has significantly grown during the last couple of years, so increasing share of wallet within our customers, so leveraging cross-selling and upselling going to be one of the key levers looking at our financial performance going forward. And best-in-class renewal rates continues being very important and definitely a backbone, really allowing that cross-sell and upsell opportunity. So, and overall in consumer security, now as we have gone past the more difficult moments because of the loss of one account, and then now as we see that the underlying dynamics in the business has continued being healthy. So definitely on consumer security we see that as a growth market and profitable growth market where increasing growth will drive profitability straight through the balance sheet. So that is a very, very strong business for F-Secure and really driven with the strategic operator channel where we have more than 200 operator partners. So I guess that is it for the interim report. And perhaps as a last piece, a reminder that we will be having our Capital Markets Day that will be held on November 28th here in Helsinki. So please feel very welcome and join F-Secure to hear more about how we see the market and the F-Secure positioning about the solutions and looking at more in depth to our financial performance. And there also will be a live webcast available for that. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we have some time for questions, if there are questions on the line. So please go ahead. Any questions? Now would be the time to ask them. Okay, then with that we thank you again for joining us and look forward to talking to you again with our Q4 results. Thank you.